hot. Deeply hot. I mean hot. And I will tell you, summon the courage to spill it out, to tell the person you are faced with this shock from the person and said, but you never told me. You never said it. At that time, two emotions play up immediately. Confusion and frustration. You are confused because in your mind you are thinking, if you love me, you should know. If you care so much, you should have noticed. How can you be so close and miss it? Here is the truth. Many marriages suffer not from lack of love, but lack of discussions that never happened. So people are reacting emotionally to agreement that only existed in their heads. This is Impart Series on Insights with Stella. If you have not, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for mind shift sessions on this space every Sunday. I remember that year, Emmy and the rest of us traveled. It was more like a reunion. You see, young couples, we were all together. It was Yuletide. We had a nice time. Everyone was fine. And after the celebrations, we were all getting ready to return back to base. And we noticed Emmy's wife wasn't responding. She wasn't making any move to return back to Lagos like every other person. And when we asked what was happening, she said nothing was wrong. The husband tried as much as possible to persuade her to talk. She said nothing was wrong. After much persuasion, anyway, she opened up and said she was no longer interested in the marriage, that the husband wasn't living up to expectation, to the shock of everybody and the husband inclusive. All the husband could mutter was, babe, you shocked me. And I remember I just told her, this is unfair. I want to say something that may challenge somebody listening to me. You can't hold people accountable for a discussion you never had. I'll say that again. You cannot hold anyone accountable for a discussion you never had, because you married a human being, not a mind-reading machine or not a mind reader. You don't expect them to know what you did not communicate to them. But hold on. In today's session, we are entering a sensitive territory. A very sensitive territory. Let me explain something. Some persons secretly write scripts in their mind, invisible scripts that is known to only them, and yet they want the other person to participate in the script that they know nothing about. And in that script, it says, when I'm upset, you should know. When I'm angry, you should know. If you love me, you should understand. You should notice when everything is not going well with me. They may love you genuinely, but they still cannot participate in what they don't fully understand. If you didn't say it, how do you want them to know? If they are not part of the script you are acting, how do you want them to play their own part in the scene? This is only creating a danger. And what is that danger? It is assumption. Because those assumptions, they only create invisible expectations. And when those invisible expectations set in with reality, they will create visible frustration. Now, how does assumption play out? Assumption will only tell you, since they love me, they should know. But matured relationship will say, let me help you understand me better. And how will that happen? That happens through communication. But somebody is saying, if I have to explain everything, where then is the love? If I will have to say everything before they know it, then where is the care? Where is the empathy? Where is the bond? But that is a very grave mistake we are making, because communication does not reduce love. Communication is what gives love direction. Scripture in Amos chapter 3 verse 3 makes us to understand that, can two walk together except they agree? Agreement requires communication. People don't accidentally arrive at understanding. People talk their way into understanding. In all honesty, Amy was an example of a perfect husband in his own sense, because he felt he was providing, he was doing everything that would make every wife happy. But unknown to him, meeting their needs and meeting the domestic obligation doesn't mean love to his wife. That wasn't wrong anyway, because her love language may not be what the husband was doing. But what was wrong was the fact that, did she say it? That is the point. Did you communicate it? And when I told her, this is not fair, that was what I actually meant. It is not fair because you are tormenting him with what he never knew about. That is when Unspoken expectations now become emotional trap. Yes, you are beginning to hold people accountable for what they know nothing about. It's like setting an emotional trap for them. If he loves me, you should be able to know. And when innocently he didn't know what he was supposed to do, it becomes an offense, and we begin to build resentment, we begin to build grudge. But the question is the person aware that you are hurting? Did you ever communicate? That expectation you have, was it agreed, or you are the one that have a private script and you expect a public compliance? That is emotional trap, and it doesn't help any marriage to thrive. Expectations must be clearly communicated, and agreement must be reached before you can hold the other person accountable. And then the important question: why do people find it difficult to communicate? Why can't they just say it the way it is, the way they want it? Many reasons. Some persons is fear of rejection. For some other persons, they don't want to appear needy. For some, it could be their upbringing. They've been brought up in a way that feelings are suppressed. And for some other persons, they just assume if they care, they should know. They are supposed to understand. I don't have to say it. If I have to say it, then it doesn't feel genuine anymore. But maturity teaches something important. Needing clarity does not make love fake. Needing clarity does not reduce love. In fact, emotional maturity says, instead of allowing you to be guessing, I will help you understand me better by coming out clear. Imagine saying you never care about me. You never care about me carries a lot of meaning. And immediately the other person that hears that will want to be defensive, because in reality, it's not that they didn't care about you, but take a break. What if you say, I would have appreciated if you spend more time with me? That would invite conversation, and that is where clarity takes place. There is a difference. One creates defense, the other one invites vulnerability. So instead of anger or allowing resentment, bring clarity, because clarity allows people to explain. Clarity allows for response. You may even discover at the time you bring clarity that the person you think is hurting you is unaware. They never knew they were hurting you until clarity comes in. The reality of love is that love is not just built on feelings. Love is built on understanding, communication, adjustment, patience, and intentional effort. Listen to this. Even good people can fail you unintentionally if there is no clarity. So before you become angry, before resentment builds, you need to pause and ask yourself, did I actually say it? Are they really aware of the expectation I'm having concerning them? Not hinting, not implying, not assuming. Did you clearly communicate it? You need to ask yourself, did I clearly communicate it? Because many relationships today are suffering from conversations that never happened. Now listen to this before we go today. Unspoken expectations create silent disappointment, but clarity maintains connection. This is Impart Series on Insights with Stella. If you have not, please subscribe and turn on the notification button so you don't miss these mind shift sessions every Sunday on this space. Till I see you again next week, where we shall be looking at expectations and capacity. Remain intentional.